Good evening. Tonight we will have the Town of Lake Clark Shores Code Enforcement Board hearing come to order May 22nd, 6:30 p.m. Emily, could you please call roll?
Chair Paul Hughes,
Present?
Vice Chair Gerard Sanchez,
Present.
Board Member Ariel Hernandez, Board Member Deb Moody,
Present.
Board Member Wesley Cook.
Present.
Okay, thank you. Could we stand and have the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The next item of business is the oath of office for Jerry Sanchez and Deb Moody. If you would please stand and be sworn in.
Can we do it together?
Yeah, why don't you do it together? We'll get to do it
All right.
once, sure. I state your name.
I, Gerard Sanchez, III,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
Do
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I
that
will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and government of the United States
the Constitution and government of the United
of the
States
United States
and of the state of Florida.
and the state of Florida,
That I am duly qualified to hold office
that I am duly qualified to hold office
under the Constitution of the state,
under the Constitution of the state,
and I will well and faithfully perform
and I will well and faithfully perform the
duties of a code enforcement board member
the duties of a code enforcement board member
of the town of Lake Clark Shores, Florida,
of the town of Lake Clark Shores, Florida,
on which I am about to enter.
on which I am now about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Chair would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion's been moved and second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Is there anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda, which includes the approval of the minutes of the April 24th, 2024 Code Enforcement Board hearing and cases now in compliance. Are there any additions or amendments to the last Code Enforcement Board hearing? Hearing none?
None.
Okay. Case is now in compliance. Eric?
Good evening, board members and Chairman Hughes. Starting on page 1, case 23-0518 is now in full compliance. Compliance date was reached as of 5/17/2024. Turning over to page 4. Case 24-0168 is now in compliance. Case 24-0172 is now in compliance. Case 24-0173 is now in compliance. Case 24-0175 is now in compliance. Case 24-0179 is in compliance. Turning over to page 5. Case 24-0190 is in compliance. Case 24-0193 is in compliance. Case 24-0196 is in compliance. Case 24-0197 is in compliance. Case 24-0198 is in compliance. That concludes all cases that are currently in compliance.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is there anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next item is disclosure of visits. If any of the board or council members, board members have any discussions within the property owners, cases that will come before us tonight, or any special considerations, if you would please acknowledge that at the time of our, that we hear the case. Swearing in of witnesses, anyone in the audience that will be speaking tonight before the board, if you would please rise and be sworn in by the board's attorney.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you'll give me the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you. So the case 230518 is a lien imposition hearing, I believe.
Yes, sir.
And
Members
the-
of the board,
And the lien outstanding fine is $5,700.
yes, that,
And it came into compliance on what date?
well, I have the property owner here. She would like to speak to the board.
Just work with me here, Eric. It came into compliance on May 16th. Is that what?
The date is 5/17/2024.
5/17.
Correct.
Okay.
And like I said, the property owner is here to speak to the board.
Can I
Okay.
just, excuse me, if I could ask, on the sheet, it does show compliance 5/16. The notes on page 2 indicate compliance 5/16, but you're saying 5/17.
Eric, is the email in the file?
Give me a second. Correction, the date is 5/16/2024. I stand corrected.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ma'am, do you want to talk with us?
My
Hi.
name is confidential. No, hi.
Hi,
Hello.
confidential.
Hi. First of all, I really want to apologize for all of the extra work I've put you through and Eric through, all of your staff over these number of months since you've been paying attention to some of my property. I've been very ill and I really could not even come to meetings. And I apologize that I wasn't able to come. I lost control of what I could do or not do. And I'm really very sorry. Because I know I've served on boards and I know how hard you work. So I appreciate your work. I guess I'm here to ask for forgiveness, forbearance, help. I don't know exactly the terminology you would use. I did while my son communicated last month that we would probably tear out the former basketball court, former tennis court actually, and put in a garden or grass. When I consulted with landscape contractors, it would take much too long because he couldn't give me a proposal without knowing the trees I wanted. I really wanted to create a park. And so it would have taken a lot longer than 1 month. So I just had it repaired, refinished, resealed. I think the 2 resealings, lots of repair. It looks much nicer. So I just want to apologize for taking up so much of your time and so much Eric's time and your staff time. I really could not do any better at the time.
Members of the board, I believe she will be asking for a reduction of the fines. She, after speaking with her son and after speaking with her on the phone several times, she did get the parking lot, done in quite a a rapid manner. We were expecting that this was going to be carrying on further. So the fact that we're standing in compliance today shows her good faith.
Eric, do you have a most recent picture of the repair? And
I tried to take one early today, but there was landscaping vehicles blocking. They were trimming trees. I can provide you a photo as early as tomorrow, but I personally went out there and re-inspected it. it goes above and beyond what our normal expectations are for resealing of normally a driveway. This is a whole parking lot.
Actually, the team worked for 2 days and did a significant amount of work over 2 days.
So ma'am, I think you're asking for us to rescind the fines or reduce the fines. Is that
Yes,
waive the fine
I believe that it would be the proper.
or
language.
reduce the fine?
Thank you.
Any questions here, comments?
Do you have a suggestion as to what you think would be fair?
No, I really don't. Considering what I lived through, I don't know.
The fines did accrue to 5,700. So just so you have the number, would you believe a 50%, 75%? What amount do you believe would be fair for a reduction?
Well,
I think we asked that question because this is the original notice, Eric, was what date? September of 23?
Yeah, it's pretty far back there. Bear with me for a moment so I can go through the files.
That's
In
approximately
September.
8 months.
In September, we continued it until December, so it had to go way before
I thought
that.
it was way before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the notice of hearing was issued on 9/8/2023. The initial notice of violation was issued on 5/3/2023.
So it's been a year.
not quite. I think I went out of town on the weekend that would have been my anniversary.
One
And I
day.
came home and there were the first notices on the wall. And I cried during the entire weekend, I remember, and I got much worse after that. So that was in September.
So you've been able to communicate with Eric
Not much,
all
just-
along? No, not much?
No.
No, just in this last week.
Yeah, no, we spoke when the initial violation was first issued, for personal reasons that were already discussed to the board.
Mhm.
From then on out, she wasn't able to really have any communication. Within the last few months, her son, who was down here, kind of helped out and picked up and came to the last board. And within the last month or so, she's been in constant communication with me. Since the last board meeting, she's been in constant communication.
Is the permit necessary for what has been done?
For just the resealing of it? No. Melissa?
Like a
There wasn't
driveway.
much to be done. She just had, she just resealed things that need to be patched up and redone. So no
She
permit.
did it's the whole entire lot. I drive by it all the
Yes.
time, so I'm just,
It's impressive.
The
yeah,
whole entire 600 square feet.
yeah, it's completely brand new. Black.
So I'm able to talk now because I've started going through therapy for PTSD. And so I'm just regaining my voice a bit, but I had lost it.
I think we need a motion of some sort.
Were you in any communication, or were you in communication with your sons through all this about this particular item?
I tried to, they were stressed too, and not so much. No, I really tried to, I wasn't functioning well, but I was trying to save them from extra stress because they had gone through a considerable amount of stress themselves, caring for a sick and dying member at home. And I didn't. I think what I was going through, I know code enforcement, and I had some idea that things would not go well if I didn't go to meetings. But you know what? What I was going through was so awful. It was more awful than thinking about code enforcement, to tell the truth.
Well, I am personally sorry for what you've gone through.
Thank you.
And if this hadn't gone on so long,
Excuse me.
I guess I would even be more understanding. But since it has gone on almost a year, I would recommend a reduction in the fine, not waiving the fine. And I would look to you guys to make a recommendation of some sort.
Yeah, members of the board, just so you know, the cost and repairs to the parking lot were $3,000. So I would take that into consideration.
Actually, I have the bill right here. It's 2,000.
2,000?
2,550.
Okay.
Rounded it. So.
I'd like to make a motion that we reduce the total fine from 5,700 to 3,000.
Is there a second?
I second that.
Further discussion? You ready to vote? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So sorry.
Okay. Fine and position hearings. Case 230865, 1800 Forest Hill.
Can we just go back? I would like to know how long you want to give her to
Sorry,
pay.
you're right.
Isn't it usually within 30 days?
Yes.
We want to add that to the motion. Is there any
Sure.
objection?
I'm happy to do
No
that.
objection. We'll add 30 days.
Okay.
Required to pay the fine. Otherwise, a lien will be filed for the $5,700.
Correct.
Okay. Eric, do you want to tell us where we are on 0865?
Yeah, sure. We have most of the property owners here, so it's going to be the same. I've had constant communications every single code board when you've asked for an update. The property owner is here, Mr. Johnson. He is requesting more time. He would like to speak to the board to explain it. The only thing that I'll add is since the initial violation was issued, every month I've had constant updates through email. Mr. Johnson's called me on the phone, kept me up to date with the ADA lawsuit throughout the entire time. The ADA lawsuit did complete, but it took longer than expected. Mr. Johnson is here to speak on his behalf.
And I want to make sure I know the initial notice of violation, Eric.
Sure, give me one moment. Okay. The notice of violation was issued on 08/25/2023.
Okay, sir. You want to introduce yourself?
Sure, Richard Johnson, and I'm president of 1800 Forest Hill Inc. And I was here back in December, and you were gracious enough to give me some more time to correct this problem. I'm almost there. So I had an ADA lawsuit filed in August of 23, August 24th of 23. I settled the lawsuit in November of 23. I immediately hired Simmons and White to help me engineer the deficiencies in the parking lot and we got sued under the ADA law. And we had to get them to re-engineer the handicap ramps in the parking lot, which they have done. I received their completed plan on April 24th of 2024. And I immediately put it out to bid, and I got 2 bids. The low bidder was Sunshine Services. I signed a contract with them. I got the contract from them on Monday. I signed it on Monday.
This past Monday.
This past Monday. I signed it on Monday, and I signed 2 building permit applications, one for the handicap ramps and one for the seal coating, because they were instructed by the building department that that's what we needed to do. And a notice of commencement. I signed and notarized those today. I Federal Expressed them overnight. Sunshine will have them in the morning, and they're going to immediately apply for a permit with the building department. And as soon as we get the permit, then they're going to do the job. They said it's a 2.5-day job, and that's where we are. So I've diligently pursued this. We didn't want to seal coat until we had the design for the handicap ramps. So they're going to have to cut all those out, re-pour them with concrete. And once all that's done, then they'll do the seal coating. And they said that's a 2.5-day job.
Do you have bids for the resealing?
I do.
Okay. And do you
I've
have,
already signed the contract with Sunshine. I had a bid from Big D Paving and I had a bid from Sunshine Services. I have a copy of the signed contract with Sunshine, if you'd like a copy of it.
no, that's okay.
Yeah.
And they're going to do the ramps for you as well? Or?
They are.
Okay.
They're doing everything.
So when would it be estimated time of completion? So once they do it and then get a final from the county or town or?
From the town.
So it's going to be probably 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks for permitting for him.
Just to get the get permitting approval?
Yes, probably. We're a little behind, so it may be, maybe 3 weeks, but we're gonna say 4 weeks to be on the safe side.
Okay, and then once he gets the permitting, then what time frame is the company going to begin work on it? And I know it's 2.5 days, but now once the permitting is like,
Yeah.
how much time do they need to actually do the work and have it?
They'll have to schedule it. Hopefully they can, knowing that it's going to be 3 to 4 weeks, I can inform them so they can try to slide me in the schedule. It'll be as soon as possible. I talked to Alex at Sunshine this morning, and he said as soon as we get a permit, we'll schedule the job, and then it'll take 2.5 days to do it. So I can't speak for them on the scheduling, but, hopefully a couple of weeks. I mean.
So maybe.
I
60
spoke to
days.
Alex from Sunshine today,
Okay.
and he said as soon as he puts in the permit, he would let me know, and then I would, see if we could get it pushed 2 weeks instead of 3. But he said it should take no more than a week to finish what you have to do.
Yeah. And
It's a matter of putting him in the schedule, on the schedule.
Yeah, and
That's all.
instead of mailing them snail mail, the building permit application and the notice of commencement, I overnighted it. So they'll have it tomorrow morning. And their girl said that she's going to upload it into your system as soon as she gets it. So,
I should have it tomorrow, she said.
yeah.
45 days,
I was thinking 60.
Yeah, me too.
60, okay.
It's our next board meeting.
Yeah.
It's July.
Okay.
Thinking that
Would someone like to make a recommendation?
you can do that. I think,
He's in order to continue.
Yeah.
well,
We've already found the violation, and we have the fine.
we haven't started a fine yet. Today is when we're going
Um,
to start the fine if they don't comply by
Yeah.
July. So I think it's number 3.
We haven't imposed the fine yet.
Correct.
We've said
What-
that it
You
will.
want to do number 5?
But that still doesn't impose the fine.
I don't think you want to impose a fine, do you?
Well, don't we want to put it on record now that if they're not in compliance by July 25th, then a fine will
Yes.
begin?
Yes, but you're extending the date of compliance, and then if they don't comply by that date, you can impose a
Okay.
fine.
Right.
Okay, based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 23-0865, I move that respondents be found to have failed to comply by the order finding violation dated August 25th, 2023. Given the evidence presented, I move that the date for compliance be extended to July 23rd, 2024, and a fine assessment hearing, if necessary, shall be held on July 24th, 2024.
I second it.
The end.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you for coming
Thank
in.
you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you.
Next case, 230882, Center Place Professional Park property owners.
Yes,
Parking lot needs to be resealed and restriped.
sir.
It's okay. You can, we're just going to get Eric to introduce this and then,
Yeah, seeing as you asked for the last one, just so you know, the date that the notice of violation was issued was 08/25/2023. As previously stated with the other address, since the violation was initially sent out, I've had communication with the property owner. I even actually physically met with them on the site. I met with the property manager and I also met with the gentleman before you. They've explained to me the scope of work that they're doing. They purchased the building within the last year. There's been a lot of updates and a lot of upgrading needed to be done. They felt that initially the 6 months would be enough to come in compliance for the parking lot. However, the extent of work that they've been doing on the inside has kind of held them back a little bit. They are working with the building department for the inside. They are pulling their permits, so they are showing that what they're doing is correct. We do have the supervisor here to speak on behalf of the property owner.
would you like to introduce yourself, sir?
Yes, sir. My name is Joseph. I'm the facilities director for 1499 and 1495. I don't know if you guys have the violations together, but we do own those two buildings.
1495 and 99?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
1495 is on page 3, case 23-0887.
Okay.
And that is the same violation.
Correct, sir.
I guess right
The
off,
same date, 8/25.
Yes,
Oh.
correct.
I would ask, please summarize why it's taken this long to,
So there's been a couple things. We purchased a building. We did some asphalt repairs, like some of the really bad spots. You know, we cut those up and dug those. I have pictures of that. Also, there's 1501 is being remodeled. They're turning it into a school, I believe, a monastery school. They've had, you know, big dumpsters, big cranes, a lot of, you know, big heavy material over there. So we were trying to entice them because we're actually have those, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 properties in one. Some are on the board and like the association and some aren't. So everyone is now on board to repair asphalt except for one property that's in the corner where most of the damage is. So we've been doing some interior stuff, trying to, you know, improve the property that way. We just didn't want to bring in like heavy machinery and stuff like that on a brand new seal coat. We're prepared now because they're done. They've already like laid their asphalt. They didn't want to combine the bid or anything. So we were okay with that. But, you know, we're ready to pull the trigger as soon as possible. So that's where we're at. We already have bids from paving and seal coating, DMI. It's about $18,000 to do the work. So that's, you know, pretty much where we're at right now.
and when do you think you could have that done?
I was going to ask if we can extend it for 60 days.
Because 60 days, why? Why that long? 2 months?
Well, one is we're working with the building department now on some of the interior stuff that we want to accomplish within, Melissa, like next couple of weeks, we should have that permit for that.
Yes.
And get all that stuff knocked out so we don't have work trucks and things like that coming and going on the asphalt. Once again, it's a big property, so we have to do it on the weekends in sections. So there's some, you know, some timing and some planning. It's not just like, okay, we're going to shut it down and go. You know, we have multiple, you know, we have 25 different office spaces with people in there. So, you know, Saturday and Sunday, we can say, okay, hey, parking lot A and B is going to be resealed. So you guys can park here. Now that they finished 1501, there's actually another way to go around that. So there was a little bit of planning to do involved with everything, but you know, we're almost at the point of the back building being 100% completed and just ready to now make the outside look really good.
So you already
I
chose.
think it's more about them not having that machinery on the new asphalt.
Right.
That's why they need the extended time.
Yeah, so you'll be done, but you got the bid, that's what you're gonna set, but have they started the permitting? or
No, these guys, we haven't signed contracts with them yet. We're getting one more estimate because these guys are, we're at $18,000 for some repairs, and we went ahead and had repairs done. That was a lot less. So I know we have other bids, so I'm 100% sure within 60 days, we will be out of you guys' hair.
Because you heard that, I guess permitting is taking 3 weeks.
That's why I'm asking for 60 days. So if I figure if it's 3 to 4 weeks for the seal coat, because that's all we're pulling the permit for the exterior would be a seal coat. We're not doing any handicap ramps or anything like that. We're just basically sealing it and striping it. It's a 2-day process. Well, it's actually 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, and then Saturday and Sunday the next week.
And how much does that company or the companies you're working with? lead time?
18,000 for this. Oh.
Well, lead time. So in other words.
Well,
what's the
here's the thing is I'm new to Florida. I've been here a year now. So I have companies that are like, we could start tomorrow, that is a lot less cheaper than this, but I don't like to throw good money into a bad project. So, I mean, I can reach out to Eric probably in the next, by Wednesday of next week and give him the exact time, who we went with and the lead time from there.
Now, does this include 1495,
Yeah.
1501?
No,
And
No.
No, 1501 they have their own building permit.
Gotcha,
They have
okay.
all their own stuff.
So, so 1495 and 1499.
Yeah, and there is one more building. I don't know, Eric, are they involved? The
1497.
1497.
Yeah, 1497 should be on the agenda.
So those
They
three are in the association. So once we do all of that, because that's the main area, it's the main driveway that goes all the way down. There's a parking lot to your right, then goes back, right, left, and left. So the other people, they don't want to come on the board. We're okay with that, but we wanted 1501 to be done. They're almost at the point where there's no more, big trash cans, cranes, anything like that going through.
So you're asking for a 60-day extension for 1495 and 14?
For all three of those buildings.
All three?
Yeah.
Including 1501?
No, 1501 has nothing to do with us.
1497.
1497, 1495, and 1499.
Okay.
And 1497 was also cited on August 25th as well.
All of them for this particular area were all cited on 8/25/2023. There's one side note I'd like to mention to the board. Since I started here, since they took over, this area was a little more rough around the edges. There was a lot more law enforcement activity, a lot more vagrancy. Since they took over, the police chief isn't here tonight, unfortunately, but you can ask him. Calls for service have gone down. Not that they were heavy there, but they were more notable. It's all gone away. When I personally go through, I don't see any more vagrancy. Any issues I have with their dumpsters, before I even have to cite for a violation, I contact Joe. Joe sends me pictures or calls me, and things get taken care of. So since the new property owners have taken over, there's already been noticeable improvements there. And I think with the school being built, that safety, which they seem to prioritize, is a big positive.
Like if you could take, for instance, like on the picture that's on the screen now,
Mhm.
all of that's been, repainted and looks really good now. We're getting sign companies in there. We're restarting the access control. We already have it, but now we're just going to get it all going. I mean, there was a lot of problems. I mean, with those units, I don't know if you guys know about the steel mills that were here, but there was probably 10 in those two buildings. The doctor who would move from one to go to another. And, we've had a lot of extracurricular activity that's no longer there now. The lights are all working in the parking lot. It's been quite especially with me coming out here, not having, my clientele like I would in San Diego, meeting all new vendors and things like that, and dealing with people that really don't know what they're doing, but they say they know what they're doing. But at the end of the day, I mean, Eric's been, this whole community is we appreciate you guys. Like I said, within 60 days, I can guarantee that that parking lot will look fabulous.
I'll make them.
Okay, so I think we're looking for motions for 14,
I'll do it for all three.
1495, 1499, and 1497.
Okay. Yeah, started with, so I should mention all three
Yes.
cases.
Or
Okay.
do we need three separate?
Three
Oh,
separate
you want three
motions.
separate?
Mhm.
Okay, 3 times. All right, based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 23-0882, I move that the respondents be found and have failed to comply with the order of finding violation dated as August of 25 of 2023. Given the evidence presented, I move that that date for compliance be extended to July. I'm just going to follow this.
23rd?
24.
No, she had
I did
23rd.
the
I'm gonna-
23rd,
I'm
so
gonna do 23rd there, right? I'm gonna do that, July 23rd of 2024. And, let's see, what else. Given the, I move the date be compliant, yeah, July 23rd of 2024, and a fine assessment hearing, if necessary, shall be held on July 24th of 2024.
second.
Further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next. That would be 1499, case number 0887.
Based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 23-0887, I move that the respondents be found to have failed to comply with the order finding violation dated August 25th of 2023. Given the evidence presented, I move that the date of compliance be extended to July 23rd of 2024, and a fine assessment hearing, if necessary, shall be held on July 24th of 2024.
Second.
Further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carries. And
08090.
mhm,
Based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 23-0890, I move that the respondents be found to have failed to comply with the order finding violation dated August 25th of 2023. Given the evidence presented, I move that the date for compliance be extended to July 23rd of 2024, and a fine assessment hearing, if necessary, shall be held on July 24th of 2024.
motion's been moved and seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks for coming in.
Appreciate it.
Hopefully I don't see you guys in 60 days. No.
Oh, okay, good.
Feel free to drop in.
Yeah.
No problem.
Okay.
You guys at the city, your city workers are awesome. Tell you that much. Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Okay, so I think we'll go to case 23-0886, 1501 Forest Hill Boulevard.
Yes, correct.
Eric?
As previously stated with the other property owners, I've had several correspondence with the property owners. They brought to my attention some issues that have caused this project to not be able to be completed. We do have one of the property owners here. She would like to speak before the board and explain the situation of what's going on.
And the initial
0825-2023.
0825,
Yes, sir.
23 was the initial notice.
Yes.
Our
Okay.
notice here says November 16th, 2023. That's the first notice we received.
That might have been for another violation.
No, I have that in front of me.
So,
It's 230886.
0886. We've got 23-0886 issued on 8/25/2023.
I think what she has is the notice of hearing.
Yeah.
Let me check the notice of hearing.
Is it,
But
The
this was
note-
the first notice we received because I think it was put on the incorrect building. So that is the first notice we actually.
Yes, so the notice of hearing was issued on 11/16/23. That's the November one.
Correct. But if you remember, we had a conversation that we hadn't received any prior notice to that. This was our first notice.
Yes.
Hi, good evening. Thank you for hearing us this evening. My name is Rena. I'm the president of the Forest Hill Professional Condo Association. I'm also one of the owners. This is Gary Millian. He's one of the other owners of this building. We have diligently been trying to rectify the parking lot issue. We've received many bids. However, it's come to our attention, and I'm sorry that the manager for 1499 left, that they have a broken sprinkler pipe that's been flooding thousands of gallons of water into our parking lot and causing massive crevices in our parking lot. Unfortunately, their sprinklers go on at 3 o'clock in the morning, so no one could really tell because no one's really there until we had our contractors come out and take a look, because every time we would fix these crevices, they would just come back very quickly. Other factors is, the plastic surgery center that's being renovated. They constantly have trucks going through our parking lot, large trucks, large cranes. They just re-asphalted their lot, but with their continued construction and their trucks coming through, it's very difficult for us to try to have our lot done at the same time, because there will be no place for our patients to park during that time frame. Before we can proceed, we would need to have 1499 fix their broken pipe. I mean, we're talking thousands of gallons. I had sent a letter to the owner of 1499, Jay Kriegsman, to the property address that is listed at the property appraiser site, and I had sent it certified. I have not received a response from them. Unfortunately, we cannot go onto their property and fix the pipe. This is ongoing. I have pictures from this morning where our lot is still being flooded, and this has obviously been going on for months. We have had several bids, so we've been working on it diligently. They will not let us proceed until that is fixed. They tell us that the asphalt will just wash away, and we're talking tens and tens of $1,000s of work that we're contracting. So we kindly asked the board to give us an extension. Unfortunately, we're at the mercy of the owner of 1499 until they fix their pipe. Yes, those are all crevices caused by the flooding in that lot, because that right by that tree is where the pipe comes up, and it's thousands and thousands of gallons each night, causing those rivers there, causing the damage to our lot.
So when was this leak
It's been going on
discovered?
for months, and we
Okay.
discovered it when we had these bids come in, because we'd have,
Which was
repairs
when?
done.
When did you have the bids?
February, March, April.
Okay.
I have
And when did you send the certified letter to,
April 29th, 2024.
do you have evidence that they've received?
I have it sent certified. It didn't come back to
You
me.
didn't, so likely they did not receive it,
It would come back to me if it wasn't received. It hasn't returned back to me.
or you would have gotten the green card that they signed for, that they received it.
Or they refuse, one of the two.
Yeah,
Could be.
none of that happened. So we
So,
haven't received it.
Have you reached out to Eric or someone else at the
Yes.
town to be able to put you in communication with?
Yes, I've reached out to Eric, and I sent him several emails explaining the situation, and he's been nothing but gracious, and he kindly advised us to come in tonight and kind of plead our case. We've been trying to be compliant, and we've been in communication with the town as best as we could.
Yeah, I think the building of the school caused a huge issue. And then with this water leak that's going on, I do have the contact information for 1499. I will reach out to him by tomorrow. So if you want to give me,
Appreciate that.
yeah, if you want to give me a call, because I was not aware that there was a continuous leak going on. Based on that, I can see why you wouldn't want to spend the money to get it fixed and have it all washed away. Just so you know, no other violations have been issued on their property since this one. Same with the previous owners. Any issues I have and any correspondence I have, things get taken care of. So they've been nothing but respectful, constantly getting updates from me every month when they update me, and I update you. I've been on the ball with everything, thanks to them.
Question, the gentleman just here said that your property was now all set.
No. That's the
It-
building next to us where the school is going in.
I
We're the
thought he
property.
said 15, are you part of the
It's
same?
We're
it's
both,
two.
unfortunately, when this was built in the 80s, they gave both of our buildings the address 1501, but we're two separate entities. We're not related to that school building at all.
Okay, but I thought he had said that 1501 was gonna do their own thing, and that it was holding him up for doing his stuff.
That's the side where the school owns. So it's 1501, but it's broken up into 2 parcels. So it's one building, but it's actually 2 separate,
Okay, all right,
2 separate owners.
okay.
So to alleviate any confusion in the future, at some point, wouldn't you think the address would be corrected? Either by you as the property owner of one space or the other party as the property owner of that space. You can't both have the same address, and
Yeah, they should
typically,
be like an A or a B or.
or,
something like
or a 1503 or some
Correct.
other number.
Even for
So,
this case.
right.
We've tried that with the postal service and they.
Post
refuse to
office
do it.
isn't the one that creates an address. Usually your zoning department would be the one that would assign the address to the property.
that. Correct.
So I think that you should be in touch with the zoning administrator or someone who's managing the zoning aspect of the property. I'm sure they can put you in touch with the correct party, but you should address the address issue.
Now, have you talked to that other gentleman that was here about
Um,
the water problems? and all?
No, I haven't
Oh.
seen him, I'm in my office every day. I haven't seen him on the property at all.
And this has been happening how long?
Months.
Months. You
It ha-
see
it
water
happens
every
at-
morning, you go, but no, after the sprinkle, you see the water. Right.
Well, the sprinklers go on at 3 o'clock in the morning.
No, right.
And as hardworking as we are, we're not there at 3 o'clock in the
No,
morning.
no. My point is,
Yes, there's
after the
water.
sprinkle in the morning, you see a puddle of water there.
Yes,
And
but
that's been
in
months.
Florida, it rains every day and you think, oh, it's the rain or, but it only really clicked when our contractors came through and said, this is not normal wear and tear. These big, you can see there, those big rivers going through the parking lot horizontally. That's not how water flows. So then they said, there has to be something causing it. And then we started looking into it more. And I dropped my daughter off at the airport early one morning. I swung by my office and I saw the sprinklers going. I saw the big leak starting. So that's how I kind of figured it out.
So since you found that out, have you contacted the other gentleman
Yes,
about this?
by certified mail, the
By-
owner of the building
Okay,
of 1499.
Eric, you're our eyes and ears. Have you observed this flooding?
No, but as she had stated, it's happening at 3 in the morning.
But if the contractors aren't coming out at 3 in the morning,
No, but
they must
saw
be
the-
coming out in the morning or the day.
Right, but they see the wear patterns and how the crevices are forming and they're saying that's not normal.
Well,
what-
It's not normal wear and tear.
When I drive by, I haven't seen a massive amounts of flooding, but typically sprinklers in commercial properties are on timers.
right.
I mean, we have video footage of it and pictures. I have a picture of it as of this morning.
Do we have any violations with the other building or now that the sprinklers or any other violation? I guess they can't do anything until that's rectified.
Yeah, and
unfortunately.
fortunately, I do have the contact information, the direct contact number of the property owner for 1499, 97, and 95. So I can give him a call as early tomorrow. That's why the person, Joe, who was here, was sent by the owner. The owner has been very receptive. So I'll reach out, let them know that there's an issue. And if you want to give me a call tomorrow, maybe I can get both of them in contact with one another.
That would be great.
have you ever seen the owner of the other building?
Never met him, never seen him.
And the people you're getting bids, how long, I guess, same as, how long, once, we know permitting now takes 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, they
So
said whenever they can get us on the schedule, but it's several weeks. It's not quick. And unfortunately, the construction at 15, at the school is they all comment on that, how difficult it's going to be to work around that. Because for some reason, asphalt can only be bought Monday through Friday, and they can't do the work on the weekends because they have to purchase the asphalt from the asphalt refinery. So that poses a big problem because we have no cross parking agreement. So our patients don't have anywhere to park while it's being done Monday through Friday, while that school is being built, because they're blocking the main way most of the time with their trucks and construction. And they drive through our lot repeatedly.
So tell me, if you could, how are you going to correct this?
We need to have the sprinkler fixed.
Okay,
Once
that's
that
one.
is done, we will proceed with the contracting and then hopefully, unfortunately, we're at their mercy when they could put us on our schedule and permitting.
What about the parking for the school?
What about it?
I mean, how's that going to be handled? Do you have communication with them about,
Their parking lot is full with their contract people
so
every
that,
day.
that's not going to affect yours then,
It is going to affect us when our lot is done, but
when it's done?
they're not, when it's being done, but they're not really cooperative.
So it concerns me that you're saying once all those things are done, but you haven't got a solution for the school parking.
I'm not understanding your question.
I think he's
Somebody
trying to
help me.
say, what are you gonna do, like, once it's done? When they're doing the asphalt, they have to put cones up so nobody can come in and out of there. So I don't know, I guess he's asking, how is that gonna be a problem for you if you're gonna have cones up and they can't come through there when your property is being asphalted?
They have their own entrance into their parking lot.
Okay, so then it wouldn't affect
No,
your
that's why I
stuff.
was confused.
Well, then I'm confused. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I'm confused.
They have their own pathway in and out.
Yeah, they have their own entrance in and out.
It's a
so-
confusing cluster of properties.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you need to get this done? I know, besides the sprinklers, I'm not talking about the sprinklers. How much time is it going to take for you to, assuming that the sprinkler situation is resolved, how long is it going to take you to get this done?
I think 60 to 90 days is fair.
Well, I would think that if Eric is going to be able to put you in touch with the property owner that has the broken sprinklers tomorrow, then hopefully that'll be resolved within this week or next week. So at this moment in time, you do not yet have a contract.
I have
With-
a contract right here. in my-
So that's a signed contract. So you're in contract with the company that will do the work. You just now need to apply for the permit. There's no reason to wait for the sprinkler to be done before you apply for the permit.
The
you could've-
company will, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. The company will not apply for the permit until the sprinkler is fixed.
That's not, okay.
I don't run the company. They told me that because of timing and this and that and
Well, do
I
they
don't-
realize that it'll take 3 to 4 weeks to get the permit issued? And then they're going to ask for more time to get you on their schedule. So now you're already used up the 60 days that we might be willing to give you to come into compliance.
unfortunately I'm at their mercy. I can't,
I think the asphalt company they can apply for the permit.
Of course.
They have
can.
180 days to do whatever they have to do.
That's correct.
They can apply for the permit and
Correct.
just wait for you to tell them that the sprinkler's done.
Why don't we just
No.
maybe not do the safe, let's just do 30 days, come back our next board meeting and give a status in regards to putting for the permit. You obviously signed the contract and the sprinkler. I would think by 30 days, you would have to have an answer in regards to the sprinkler with the other owner. So I'm just saying, we
I
don't,
would kind of recommend the same July deadline with a report next month that shows that they've applied for the permit.
I'm fine with that as long as next month we get a status report.
would a status report and email to Eric be adequate as a status report?
No, I think it's better, like you guys are here and we have everything.
You can tell us what your situation is now with the neighboring property and the sprinkler leak. Hopefully it's resolved, in which case it's resolved. Your permit should be in the process of being issued and you should have a delivery date for the work to be completed.
As well, find out their scheduling lead time is, but yeah, this thing's been going on since 2023. So
November.
yeah, well, okay.
Still 2023.
I understand, but it's out of our control that there's a sprinkler that's leaking. We're not just.
No problem. But understand, obviously, we know that's an obstacle, but we need to have you come back here for next month's board meeting and give us complete status, just like now and what's going on. And hopefully, honestly, hopefully that something has been done to get the sprinklers. And obviously, you need to find out when they're going to do the sprinklers. I would think, Eric, you'll probably be talking to them to kind of get them motivated.
Like I said, I'll contact the property owner 1499. I'll give the contact information to them. They will give me an update, let me know what kind of agreement they can come to.
And likely if it's just sprinkler heads that need to be repaired or redirected, that's not going to require a permit at all. So it could be repaired tomorrow, from my experience in
It's not
dealing
a
with.
sprinkler head. It's deep underground. It's a large pipe. We're talking thousands of gallons every night. It's not just a sprinkler head. We could just.
Well, I would think that if it was thousands of gallons, I'm not an engineer, but I would think you'd have sinkholes or something more substantial than
We have
just.
huge crevices that have formed.
Okay.
Jerry, would you like to make a motion?
Yeah. We'll go ahead. This is, okay. Based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 23-0886, I move that the response be found to have failed to comply with the order of finding violation dated August 25th of 2023. Given the evidence presented, I move that the date for compliance be extended to July 23rd of 2024, and a fine assessment hearing, if necessary, shall be on July 24th of 2024, provided that they come,
The owners.
the owners come and give us a status report at the next board
June
meeting,
26th.
June 26th of 2024.
Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. You
Thank you
understand?
so much.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for
Appreciate
coming
your
in.
time. And I thank the employees of the town.
Members
as
of
well.
the board, I actually, the gentleman who was previously here, Joe, I just spoke with him, mentioned the situation. So the sprinklers, 6 of them have already been fixed. They're going to be working on them tomorrow. There's a set of sprinklers that they can't seem to fix. They can't find out what's going on. This is probably what's causing the flooding. I'm going to give her the contact information before she leaves. So if you can just give me 1 minute so I can provide it to her. But this is going to be addressed as of tomorrow. So it'll be started.
Okay,
Okay,
You're welcome.
thank you.
Thank you.
all right. Our next case is 24-0119, 1701 Mango Circle. Painted driveway needs repainting.
Is there-
Sorry. Okay, so this is for 24-0119.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so 1701 Mango Circle, they are still in violation. During the last code board meeting, I didn't have contact with the property owner. However, Mr. Cahook, who was a property owner, is here. He did bring to my attention that there's a personal issue going on. He will divulge what he feels comfortable. He would like to speak for the board, so I will let him speak further.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, sir. My name is Wasim Kahook. How are you?
Two quick questions.
Yes, sir.
Do you agree that the driveway needs repainting?
Yes, for sure.
Okay. And when can you have that done?
Well, due to the personal issue that I did mention to Eric at first, because it was supposed to be solved at the beginning of this month, it was delayed till June 10th. So depending on June 10th, I'll be able to finish it within a week, 2 weeks, but June 10th is up in the air still. So
You could have it done by, when's our next meeting?
now, depending, like I said, what happens June 10th, on June 10th, then I'll be able,
So you don't know if you could have it done?
no. June 10th, when I can find out if I can proceed, I can finish. My property is beautiful. The only thing that's left is the driveway, and I left it because that's the last thing I wanted to do. I just did the roof. The roof cost me almost $100,000. My property doesn't need anything. That's the last step to have been
Yeah, it
done.
looks nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Members of the board, just so you know, the only other violation he was ever issued was for having a advertisement sign in the yard, which was removed. The only other issue was the driveway, and this has been well over a year since I've been here.
And the reason I was late is due to my personal issues. My son did see the 2 violation, a 20-year-old sold my third son. Removed his sign. He was excited. He's a working contractor with his grandfather. So he left it by the hedges. So he removed the sign and he just didn't think much of it. And then when the letter came in, I guess, I don't know what you call that letter, came in the mail, and he handed me the mail. That's when I realized what was going on. Otherwise, I didn't know anything.
So you live there?
At the moment, no, I'm in Fort Lauderdale.
I guess what we want to know is when you can get it done.
I like to have 60 days. I mean, it wouldn't take me no time to do. It's, this thing's been going on for a little over 2 months. Once again, it was supposed to have been solved beginning of this month. My attorney delayed it till June 10th. So June 10th will determine I can get it done right away, 30 days.
So you could.
But I like to have 60 days just for precaution.
So you're saying you could get it done no later than July 23rd?
Yeah, I think that's good enough.
Just
Worst case
one-
scenario, I'll be back here.
So on June 10th, nothing will happen that will prevent you from getting it done at all, correct?
No, yes, depending on what
June 10th.
happens in
makes-
my personal life on June 10th, determine if I can or cannot.
So what, okay, so what happens your person can or cannot? So in other words, if, I'm understanding, but if there's a decision, then you would then not repaint it? In other words, this is not something.
No, I wouldn't have access to the property. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
That helps a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. That
Yeah,
helps.
members of the board, I can explain a little bit more at a later discussion, but he wished to keep things
Yeah,
private.
understood. No, I just, okay.
Yeah,
you got it.
our goal is for you, for the property, not necessarily.
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah.
You, not necessarily you, but the property to come into compliance.
Yes.
Someone has got to get that.
No, 90% of the stuff I do in my house, around my house, I do myself.
Okay.
And this was something I wanted to do myself because that was the last thing to be done to my house. Everything is done. It's my retirement home, is what I call it. Everything is done beautifully. It's not missing anything except what you guys are looking at. That's it. And I left that on purpose to the end because construction, and everything else I've done in the back, on the sides, the roof. So I purposely left that to the end because it just makes sense to leave it to the end.
What was the date of the violation?
Notice.
It was on 2/7/2024 for both of them. One was issued for the signage in the yard. The other one was issued for the driveway. And as Mr. Cook said, when his son received the violations via mail, they removed the signage violation.
But the signage violation isn't on the agenda.
No, because
It's only the driveway.
yes, correct.
So the notice of violation was 2/7.
2024.
Okay.
I'm fine making a motion. Yeah. We'll make a motion. You want to make? Yeah. Based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 24-0119, I move that the response be found to have failed to comply with the order finding violation dated of February 27th of 2024. Given the evidence presented, I move that the date for compliance be extended to July 23rd of 2024, and a fine assessment hearing, if necessary, shall be held on July 24th of 2024.
Is there a second?
Second.
But I have a question. Could we add that we have an update a month? Because if June 10th will have come and
Yeah,
gone
I'll add
by
that.
June.
Yeah, that we have a status that, Mr. Cahook?
Yes, sir.
Come with the status report at our next board meeting.
June
As
26th.
I
June
can reach
26th.
out to Eric the same day. I mean, if everything goes as planned, I'll call him the same day. Hey, I'm good to go. And I'll get started on it right away myself, pressure cleaning, do whatever I need
But
to do.
if that doesn't, if you aren't able to
Right.
do for whatever,
Then I have
we'd
it
like
to
to see you here in front of us to say, well, now my attorney says it'll be December 18th or something, whatever he's going to say.
if,
So we can keep-
Change of plan. So in
okay,
other
so when
words,
do you want me to reach back to you? I have till the 24th, right?
you have till July 24th
Okay.
to get have the driveway in compliance.
Okay,
We are asking that you appear
okay.
on June 26th
Mhm.
before us to give us a status
June
of
26th.
your situation.
Okay.
Because obviously June 10th, so June 10th, you will know and say, hey, you'll probably come here. Hopefully it's like, hey, I was able to record everything else, moving forward. Maybe you might even come and say, I already took care of the driveway.
That's the point.
But we just want to make sure things are moving.
Okay.
And
You're good with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all those in favor of the motion, say aye. Is there anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you
guys.
for coming in.
Thank you.
See you, Mr. Cook. Next one will be on page 5. Case 24-0214.
Yes,
All right.
Guardian Forest
Forest.
Hill LLC.
Correct. Good evening. I am Code Enforcement Officer Eric Richwagon representing the town of Lake Clark Shores. This is case number 24-0214. Site property owners is identified by Guardian Forest Hill LLC. Site address is 1755 Forest Hill Boulevard, Lake Clark Shores, Florida. On 04/19/2024, a notice of violation was issued for section 34-19 sub 7, prohibited trash outside of the dumpster. A notice of hearing was issued on 05/10/2024. As of today's date, the violation is in compliance. To give a little information,
Did you say is not,
is
in compliance?
yes, the violation is in compliance. However, this has been an ongoing issue for the past year. So I would like to give a little more information of what's going on. This was brought up during last month's code board hearing. It was discussed what was going to go on with this property. So after last month's meeting, I reached out to the property owner via email. I got in contact with him. We spoke over the phone. We had a lengthy conversation. I had explained to him what had been going on for the last year since they became the new property owners. So some new information that came to light was there were 2 dumpsters that were initially installed there, which was done incorrectly. So Waste Management wasn't moving their vehicle in there properly to lift it. After a lot of back and forth between the owner and Waste Management, it was deemed that one dumpster would be removed and the trunk could now go in there. One pickup day a month one pickup day a week was deemed to not be enough. So Waste Management has now been going out there 3 days a week. I can confirm that I do see it going out there 3 days a week now. So trash that's being left on the outside is now being addressed. The dumpster is not being left overflowed. On top of me speaking to the property owner, I also spoke to the town manager, Joe. Joe had a conversation with the owner as well, explaining nearly the same thing. After having a short meeting with Joe, we came to the conclusion that they are taking the proper steps to do what needs to be done. However, it will still be brought before the board just for a status update. This young lady is here to speak. I'm not sure if she's the property manager, so I don't want to misrepresent her title, but she does represent the owner and would like to speak before the board.
So where we're at tonight is this property is actually, as of today, in compliance.
Yes, the violation is in compliance. The issue is that this has been an ongoing
Problem.
I've actually put it on the flash drive, just how many violations have been issued for this. So this is a recent resolution that's come into effect within the last 3 to 4 weeks. So this is a new way they found to solve the problem. So for the last 3 to 4 weeks, this is what's been going on.
And you were mentioning about outside, because there's trash like mattresses and furniture,
Yes.
and I mean, the other stuff that I know these guys aren't going to pick it up if it's not in the bin, obviously.
They have been picking it up. Waste Management, she can probably speak better, but from what the owner told me, there was a pretty heated discussion back and forth with Waste Management. Finally, a resolution was made and pickups are being done 3 days a week. That's as much information as I have. I would like the representative to speak further.
Just have a question.
Yes.
Is this the same property, the same dumpster that had the trailer beside it?
Yes.
And we are not voting on
No,
whether
this
this
is-
property is in compliance or not tonight, just to clarify. Ma'am, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Jennifer Small and I work.
I'm sorry,
My
Jennifer.
name is Jennifer Small and I work for Cruise Property Management.
Okay.
So Eric has spoken to Robin and I'm here on Robin's behalf. So
Robin is the
the property manager.
property manager.
And we've been
okay.
retained by Guardian Forest Hill LLC, the owners.
Okay.
So basically, this has been an issue for a while, and there's 2 dumpsters there currently, and they were put in such a way that residents are lazy and they just kind of throw things in the first dumpster and ignore the one behind it. And so you would end up with the idea or with a problem of one dumpster is overfilled, the other dumpster is totally empty, and the stuff's just on the floor. And they asked Waste Management to reposition the dumpsters in a way that is more likely to get residents compliant. And there was an issue with that. The Waste Management kind of just ignored them for a long time until they left a message like, we're going to go find somebody else. And then all of a sudden, Waste Management wants to work together when it was threatened with breaking the contract and finding another service provider. In fact, like the corporate would just tell you, call your local rep. The local rep doesn't answer the phone, doesn't answer emails, and it's just been ongoing. And you call corporate, and they're like, well, call the field office. Okay, well, they're not answering. So basically, they at one point, Waste Management said, okay, we'll do a 6-day pickup. That'll alleviate the problem. We'll go more often. It turns out the days they pick, some of them don't have service. Like, for example, Saturday, they don't pick up on Saturday. I don't know why they suggested Saturday when they don't pick up that day. So it has now been that they are able to put the dumpsters in the way that we prefer, that helps residents be compliant in putting things in the dumpster properly. And there's a 3-day-a-week service pickup, and that has helped a lot. And in between, the maintenance workers go out and ensure that there's not trash on the floor, cluttering up the place and causing code enforcement to have issues.
So in your mind, the problem has been resolved.
As far as we have seen, yes.
And Eric, you agree?
Yes, because they've had trash pickups that I've seen on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So there will be trash how it's been before, where it's been placed. I'll come by the next day and it's been gone. So instead of me coming by, seeing it, citing it, and then it's still being there 5-6 days later, it's now being removed the next day because they have a 3-day-a-week pickup instead of a 1-day. So I've noticed a big improvement. So even though some of the residents or some of the tenants are still not putting it properly, it's being more frequently addressed by Waste Management.
In addition to Waste Management coming more often, the maintenance workers are physically putting the trash in the dumpsters because Waste Management is not going to do that.
That was my next question.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how often are those maintenance? Are they on the grounds every day? Are they? once a
They're
week?
coming a couple times a week in order to address that issue. The property is unstaffed. We don't maintain an office on site. So the workers are going specifically to do that service.
Yeah.
How many
There's a-
residents are in this building?
I'm not sure offhand. I didn't prepare that.
And I'm just curious, how much do you educate your tenants in regards what can be thrown out? Because obviously sometimes they just put their whole furniture, I mean.
Yes, we've sent out we have a system where you can send out text messages and we'll tell them like, look, there will be fines and you kind of encourage the residents, like if you see something, say something, because everybody's trash service fees is going to increase. If Waste Management finds the property owner, they pass that on and that's in the lease. So everybody has a stake in maintaining, things as clean as possible in order to avoid these fines. Because if your trash is overfilled, if it's full of like furniture and stuff, Waste Management won't pick it up, or they will, but there's a $200 fee. And they send you a notice, and so we pass that on to the residents.
And you've owned the property, the
I
company you
believe-
work for?
I believe Guardian bought it maybe about a year ago,
Yeah,
Okay, and there was
How
20
long
going.
has Cruz been the property manager?
since it was purchased.
Yes. Also, since they took over, the entire parking lot was redone. They were our first property to completely do their parking lot. Also, since they've taken over, the police responses there for loud music, vagrancy, and other unlawful conducts have gone down. Them being cited for scattered trash and debris has gone down. It's all been isolated now to just this dumpster. So a lot of violations I was running to before, abandoned vehicles, cars in disrepair, cars being worked on, all that is all but gone away.
So including that trailer that was,
The trailer is still there, which still needs to be addressed and still needs to be removed. When I spoke to Mr.
That been
Yeah,
resolved or removed?
yeah, when I spoke to Mr. Cruz, he wasn't aware of the trailer. Seeing as, we have a representative here, maybe she can, have the trailer removed by the dumpsters.
you know about the trailer?
I was not aware of the trailer.
Yeah, so there's an abandoned trailer next to the dumpster. So if that could be removed, because that was previously heard and that is also running a fine.
I'll let them.
And really what I wanted to bring up was, I don't know if you know the history of the property. Obviously, you guys had 25, just in the short time you've owned it. And previous owner to that, it's a serious problem in our community. So it's one that, obviously, you're the new owners. We want to just have a nice relationship, obviously, with the town, our neighbors, and our goal is just compliance. So it's a huge one, and one we're just, I think we're going to be on top of, and I think the owner needs to be aware. I mean, we got to be a partner in this, but it cannot be like it was ever again.
As Erica said, that has gone down, and you have to realize when you take over a new building, you inherit the old problems. But as you do lease non-renewals, increase the rent, increase the property values, increase, curb appeal, you get new tenants, and those tenants are different. And you also have strict rules. If you look, unfortunately, at our Google rating, you see the tenants are not happy because of that enforcement.
Well,
The owners are happy though.
we basically answer to the town
Yes,
property owners.
yes.
And when the town property owners are unhappy and complain, we have to respond.
Yes.
And we just want you to relay to the property owners that we're observing
Mhm.
and we expect compliance.
Yes, and it has been complied and it'll continue to be complied.
Okay.
As these things come up, we are responsive, and I will bring up the trailer with the maintenance coordinator in the morning to see about getting that moved, because we do have a tow agreement in order to remove inoperable vehicles and, abandoned vehicles, things like that.
So you have constant communication, or the town has your contact
I
information
don't know
and
if they have
everyone
mine
else?
specifically, but they do have Robin's.
Yeah, and I have Mr. Cruz's information. I also gave my business card to her, so she now has direct communication with me.
Okay.
Okay. No more questions? Okay. I'd like to thank you for coming in and giving your report to us. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Have a nice night.
Have a nice night.
Have a good
You
night.
too.
I'd like to take it out of order. We only have 2 cases left, but we do have our last owners who are here. So if we could take it out of order and go to page 6, the last case.
Any objection?
No.
Okay.
We didn't have to do anything with this case? I mean, it's
We
compliant
will.
now.
Oh, I don't,
Hey, go ahead.
240236,
Yes, correct.
false alarms,
Yes, correct.
payments are due.
Yes, correct. The property owner is here. Just to give a little back information. This isn't usually something I bring before the board because usually the violations are paid, but the owner did want to come in and ask for possible reduction for some issues she wanted to bring up. I do have the spreadsheet that I sent out. So there were 5 false alarms, and the way the town works is the first 2 false alarms you have where a police officer responds. Those ones are, like, okay, we understand there's no fine, but it still gets recorded by me. I put together a spreadsheet. So, but by the third one, you then accrue a $75 fee. When you go past that, it then goes to 100. Once you get to a fifth, it then goes to 150. So we're looking at 150 plus 100 plus 75. The fees have not been paid as of today. I do have the copy of the FARs from the police officers and a copy of what I send out if the board members would like to see what it looks like.
Sure.
So, Eric, do you recall when the first false alarm was? Do you have the dates by any chance?
They are all on what I just provided, everything
Okay.
is on there. So what I provided is what I send out to the residents for the fine amounts, but also when the officers respond, they fill out a physical FAR form and they submit it to me. So I have all of that information for you.
Debbie, maybe you can read that, or Jerry, maybe you can read that.
Looks like this sheet is a summary of the
Yeah.
individual tickets.
What do you want me to read?
Well, when was the first one, the second one?
Yeah, the first one was February 5th of 2024.
Okay,
And then the second one was actually two on the same day, February 5th of 2024. So that's not a duplicate.
No, it's not, because
Ticket number.
if you look right next to the date, you'll see the individual PD case
Yeah.
numbers.
That's a different case number, okay.
Yeah, because so the way it works is whenever the officers respond, they pull their own case numbers.
Okay, so then
Third
the
one.
third one is March 28th of 2024. That's $75. The fourth one, same day, is March 28th of 2024, $100. And then the fifth one is April 1st of 2024 at $150.
April what?
April 1st. It was not April Fool's, unfortunately.
Actually, good evening. My name is Julia Marante, and I just want to pay my fee. And I say, can I get a reduction? And they told me, you want to go to the board? I say, okay, I will go. And what happened is that I let the daughter of a friend of mine to use my house because she was going to school here in Del Rey. And she was putting the air condition very low, like 68, 69. I had a ornament plan underneath the sensor that I didn't know. So twice, and every time the air condition will go on, the plan will move and activate the alarm. And I called Brinks. They tried to solve the problem. They never found it.
You
And
called who?
the
Brinks?
Brinks, okay.
and they say everything is fine. I don't know why this is happening. And actually it was the police from Lake Claire Shore that was looking at the house and say, oh, that's what it is. It's your plant. So we move it in that moment and it have never happened again.
Yeah.
It was the plan the ornament plan that I.
But unfortunately, the police had to go out there 5 times to figure that
Yeah,
out.
and I learned something. I went into the house. I was actually talking to my mother when the police got there. I could have been here. I turned it up and I sat there
What date did the police discover it was the plant?
the last time,
July,
April 1st.
April 1st.
April 1st.
And since then I moved it. But I when I went to pay, I can get a reduction. They told me to come here. I didn't.
Do you reside at the property?
I go every day, but I'm not residing there.
You don't live there, it's a rental?
No, it's not a rental. On my family phones or like girl was having, they asked me if they can use it, I let them use it. I still don't know. I live in 8040 Westlake Drive now, which
So-
was part of the problem because by the time I get to the house, it was too late to turn it off.
Well, then that's a compliment to the police department. Then they're doing their job.
No, they were very nice. I
Yeah.
just was looking for a reduction, actually. And he told me not to go into the house like that, like I did last time.
So can you tell me why you're asking for a reduction in these fines?
No, I just said, can I have a reduction? Because I saw
Because you don't want to pay that much money?
for something that it never happened, but I understand now after coming here. Actually, I feel,
You got these two notices, the one that's on April 5th, February 5th and February 5th probably. Yeah, you got these two notices on the first two notices.
no,
You didn't get these?
no.
So when the officers respond, their body cameras, are rolling. When they get done, they physically, just like how a code enforcement citation has 3 copies, same with the FAR. The FAR is physically posted to the address, and then a copy is provided for me. So I get a physical copy and then I put it into the spreadsheet. So
When does the homeowner know that they've had an alarm? We'll say they're in Australia. How do they know there was an alarm?
that's up to however the property owner has their,
That's up to Brinks or whoever it is.
Yes,
to say,
correct.
oh, you've had an alarm.
yeah, the role of the police officers is to go there to make sure the home isn't being broken into. Upon realizing it's not, they then relay to dispatch and the call gets closed. But because an officer was tied up during the time period, a case number is pulled. So it does take one of the officers off the road, even for a matter of anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes.
Mhm. Did you get a call from your Brinks, your security company, about these?
No, only twice I got a call.
At what point? Which ones were those?
I think it was the first one because I remember I was in the Costco when they called me.
That would be February
Yeah.
5th.
Mhm. And the
That's the
other one, I
only
don't
call you've
remember.
gotten from Brinks.
Twice from Brinks.
What was the other one?
Oh, the other one, I don't remember, sir.
So it automatically goes to the police station. If your alarm goes off, automatically the police are dispatched.
Yeah,
Is that because you set it up that way?
maybe I did. I used to have ADT and this little guy came to my house. Oh, we
Yeah.
have a better product. And I changed to Brinks.
I'm just afraid that obviously
Yeah.
everybody with alarm, we're going to be coming in for reductions and
No, that's okay.
Yeah, let me say one other thing about it. You know, the fine amounts established by the town council.
Mhm.
So I would think if anybody's going to reduce it, it probably ought to be the town council. Because it says the,
on there. It literally
these
states,
these charges shall apply in the resolution adopting the,
yeah, I think it's out of our hands.
yeah.
So is there anything in the town ordinances that said it should come before us?
Yes. Yeah, this is what the code says. The code says, is hereby found and determined that false alarms constitute a public nuisance. The owner of an alarm system that generates false alarms in any 12 calendar month period shall be charged a service charge as established by town resolution. If the alarm user has not paid the fines within 30 days, he will be notified by registered letter or by the code enforcement officer to appear before the code enforcement board. The board will use any of its powers to bring the alarm user into compliance, including but not limited to directing a lien to be filed on the alarm user's property. So that's
Not a reduction of the fine.
the code, yes. And then there's the resolution that was adopted that, and actually, I don't know if it was changed. The third and fourth one should have been at $100 and then the fifth one would be $150, according to the schedule I have.
Not 75, but 100.
Yeah.
This- In the red here, it says the, it'll be a $75 service charge for your third false alarm call, and we charge $100 for the fourth. Fifth false alarm will result in a fine of $150. Sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth false alarm will result in a fine of $150. 10 or more calls will be $500. That's what this says.
So that says 75 for the third one.
But that says 100 for the.
Yeah, the resolution is third and fourth are 100, fifth is 150, 6 through 9 is 200, and 10 and up is 500.
You want to
Within a 12-month
Well,
period.
that's a problem, but
show it to Bill.
we have
I looked today at the resolutions that were adopted. This one is more recent. And then there
Yes.
was one that was adopted back in July of last year. And the one in July of last year revised the fee. So maybe it's just,
hasn't caught up.
I guess the issue is that we haven't updated the form that we sent out to the residents.
But we'll do that now,
Yep.
huh? Okay, so in actuality, it's 350, I think.
325.
Huh?
Well, based on the
Oh.
resolution, it sounds like it should be 350, but
Well, I don't think you would want to go higher than what was cited.
Okay,
well, we
325.
can say that it has to be paid within X number of days.
Right.
So I think all we can do is
Push it to the council.
enforce the
Finding of non-compliance and
finding
give
of non-compliance.
short amount of time.
And
to come in.
non-payment.
Right.
Okay, so I would entertain a motion and then we'll explain.
Okay, I'll make a motion. Based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 24-0236, I move that this board find the respondents in violation of sections 2227A and B, false alarm fines are due, of the Town Code of Ordinances. Respondent shall comply with the Town Code of Ordinances on or before, how long do you think you would need to get this paid?
I can pay it tonight.
Okay. I think I would say that it will need to be paid by Friday, the 24th. So the fines,
Yeah, it's not a daily fine.
right. So the balance due the town needs to be paid before May 24th, 2024. If respondent fails to comply with this order in a timely fashion and the amount of fine in the amount not to exceed,
I don't think you can do that.
right?
No, I think you just, you
Just
give her,
give
you give her time to pay it, and I'd give a little more time because I don't know if the orders are going to be done,
No.
that quickly, and then we have a long weekend, and
She won't have the orders by then,
yeah. So
maybe 2 weeks.
Okay,
When was the
Oh,
payment due?
all right. So then I will scrap that and start over.
you could, or just give a new date
Yeah,
for
new
for
date.
payment.
Then I'll say the payment will need to be made by, how about the 31st of May, which is Friday next week? That's sufficient? Or we'll go to June 7th. How's that?
I think that May 31st should be good.
Yeah,
Okay,
May 31st. We all agree with that?
yeah,
Okay.
May 31st.
Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Can you just clarify the motion? Is it that you are, you're giving her until the May 31st to
We're
pay?
impo-
If
we're
she doesn't
imposing-
pay, then there's a lien that is recorded?
She needs to pay the fine by the 31st
Or a lien might
or a
maybe.
lien may be imposed.
Right.
So if she doesn't pay that by the 31st, then we would have to bring it back to the board in June for a lien imposition?
What is the lien?
It's actual document that they put against your home.
Oh,
Exacto.
Yeah, ma'am, it's just, you
You
say
just
you're
pay the
gonna pay within the next few days, so you'll be fine. This is just the technical aspects that they have to state. So as long as you're gonna pay it, you say within the next couple of days, just what they're saying, they just have to say it for legality reasons.
Okay.
Yeah.
you have what you need.
And I imagine she can pay it. If she's paying the full amount, she could pay it without an order, right?
Right.
And be in compliance.
Because you didn't increase it or
No.
decrease it. It's just, they're just out there.
If she's willing to pay it today, I could do it for her today. It's not a big
Okay, I'm willing to pay.
Just-
I told you I was gonna be-
I know.
I'm
Just-
so sorry, but listen to the police, let the police, I mean, you shouldn't be going there for an alarm. Just,
Did we vote on this? I don't
No.
think we did. So
I made the motion.
I
I
second.
think Wes seconded it.
all those in favor of the motion, say aye.
I,
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
All right, ma'am, you're
you're
good.
coming.
Thank you for coming. Okay, that leaves us with,
Back.
The last case will be on page 5 at the bottom of the page, case 24-0230.
yes.
My truck.
So I am Code Enforcement Officer Eric Richwagon with the Town of Lake Clark Shores. This is case number 24-0230. Property owner is Yainir Suarez Santos. Site address is 1707 Laurel Lane, Lake Clark Shores. A notice of violation was issued on 5/2/2024 for section 125-767. Semi-trucks are not permitted to be stored in residential areas of Lake Clark Shores. On 5/10/2024, a notice of hearing was issued. As of today's date, the semi truck is removed. However, this is a ongoing issue that's been going on for the past 6 months. Testimony can be provided if needed by Lieutenant Fisher, Officer Pullis, and Officer Sanders, because all three of them have seen this semi truck on several occasions, early in the morning, in the early mornings, mid-morning, and mid-afternoons. I've seen it on several occasions, so this truck is continuing to come. The owner knows about the violations because I've spoken to him. So in my opinion, this is going to continue. So
Has there
because,
been
yeah.
Has there been a previous notice of violation?
So another notice of violation, the first time a notice of violation was issued and I spoke to the owner, and I didn't see it from then, but Lieutenant Fisher and the other officers saw it. So then I issued another violation, which is the one you're hearing tonight. These are the photos that were taken. The information that was provided by Officer Polo, Sanders, and Lieutenant Fisher identifies that this is the same truck on several occasions. So the violations are being ignored and not taken seriously. So I would like to still find them in violation because of the continuance of it. And should this happen again, I would like them to be labeled as a repeat violator if it should come before the board once more.
Let me ask you, how many this violation with the truck, prior to these, do we have previous history prior to you even starting? I just want to know because is this person who owns the
Yes.
truck the owner of that house too? I mean, I'm just like,
Yes, we have, yep, same property owner. Lieutenant Fisher issued a violation on 3/9/2022, commercial vehicle parked on property.
It's a repeat violation.
you know what?
Are they running a trucking company from this address? Do they have a
No,
business
this,
tax receipt for
this
something?
owner is a commercial truck driver. That is his personal commercial truck. To elaborate a little bit further, there was also a commercial trailer that was being unlawfully stored. So this is on Laurel Lane. Those of you who are familiar with the next road over on Gregory, where Gregory and Westlake are, where the canal is, there was a vehicle that was meticulously and strategically placed back there. Several complaints came in. The police department, Officer Pullis, posted a police notice on it. It was not removed, and it was actually towed, and the towing company seized it and sold it.
Hmm.
Yes.
Wow. Let me ask you this because Debbie brings up a very good point. And being that he's self-employed or whatever, I'm thinking his home, if he's a commercial truck or an independent truck driver, is he, I guess, running his independent truck driving business out of his home? Is that,
He should have a BTR.
Does he?
I
It,
didn't look.
it would prohibit this type of
Correct.
vehicle storage and traffic and that sort of thing.
Well, the code section in general, 125-767, prohibits commercial trucks from being stored in residential.
Right.
You can come home and quickly have breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It can be there for a couple of hours, but this has been parked overnight and has been witnessed several times. So I've dealt with this in every other place I worked. What happens is commercial truck drivers do not want to go to the authorized storage facilities because they have to pay the fees. So this is the way that, and I'm not saying this is what they're doing, but this is from my experience, this is what I've seen from previous cases, that most of them do not want to pay these storage fees, so they would rather park it in the residential properties.
So the trailer that you were talking about a moment ago,
Mhm.
did that belong to the same
Yes,
party?
Yes, it did, because when they ran the tag information on it, it came back to that same property owner. And it wasn't just your regular cargo trailer. This was it had its own lift on and everything. So you're talking about $75,000 to $100,000 piece of equipment.
And is the property where that was abandoned, does it have a relationship with this property owner? Do they own both parcels or?
Well, it was abandoned near, well, it was parked near the canal, which is not allowed.
Town
unauthorized.
property?
Yes, town property. Well, South Florida Water Management right of way and town either town property or maybe even town easement.
Okay.
Mhm.
So what can we do? Because obviously he's moved or the truck, I mean, this is a repeat offender. I'm thinking
We
the
should be,
max.
you should be treated as a repeat.
Well, no, I don't think you can do that yet. There's no order's been entered.
No, sir.
No, I think what you need to do is you enter an order finding a violation and then next time that he's a repeat.
How about-
Does it
500.
actually have to come before the
do that.
board the next time
Yes,
to be a
Yes.
repeat?
yes.
So it has to come here
Will you,
today and another time?
yeah, let me help you with the definition here so you know why I'm saying this. See, repeat violation means a violation of a provision of a code by a person who has been previously found through a code enforcement board process to have violated or have admitted violating the same violation
Well, that's my original ones, but-
or admitted violating the same provision within 5 years. So you don't have that first finding yet, but this would be it.
This would be it.
This would be it.
Is it possible to do a cease and desist order?
I don't know how you enforce that. I think
Every
you,
time The police go by and they see the park, they tow it.
I
Document it.
don't think you want to go there.
Okay.
I don't think you want to go there. You,
Thanks, I don't either.
but I would do what we'd call a finding of fact order, right? Eric,
Sorry, well,
do what we'd call a finding of fact order.
yes, correct.
And then next time, if he cites them, even, let's say he cites them, they move it the next morning, he can bring it in, you can find him
Up to 500.
as a repeat at
Okay.
that point.
How much would that fine be? I think, isn't our maximum $250?
Well, for a repeat violator, it's up to 500.
Oh, okay.
And because this vehicle is coming and going, if they do come in violation again, if they are labeled as a repeat violator, if I see them and cite them, even if it's removed within 10 to 12 hours, it still violates because it's a repeat.
I mean, he can't even be parking there. He shouldn't even be bringing it home there.
So
No.
we just need the first sentence in this one, right?
I mean, if he's moving furniture or there's a trailer, in other words, a truck, so you really can't be parking.
No, again, if he's going to have lunch or breakfast, but every time I've ever seen it, that has not been the case. It's been staying there for several hours. And on one particular day when I saw it, it was then reported to me the following morning by the officer, coming on shift at around 6 a.m. that they saw it there in the same place, meaning that it was left there overnight. So you can reasonably suspect that they did not just make a quick stop in.
Okay.
Would someone like to make a motion?
Which one would we choose to?
Based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 24-0230, I move that this board find the respondents in violation of section 125-767 of the Town Code of Ordinances. And furthermore, should they be found violating that section of code, they'd be brought back as a repeat violator.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think you might want to add that they have violated the code and it has recurred. And what you just said.
Do we put an amount or no?
No fine this time.
Okay.
So you got that, Emily?
No.
Well, I'll get with you.
Yeah, I'm just confused because it's in compliance, but we're finding them in violation.
Well, usually you would find, I mean, you would say that did they comply within the time allotted in the notice of violation?
No, because the notice of violation, they were given 24 hours to come into compliance. And since that time that the violation was issued, they had re-violated more than once. So even though they came into compliance today, they did not, they violated after the NOV was initially issued.
Okay. Yeah, I would think you'd want to say that they are currently in compliance, but the violation has recurred following compliance, and therefore an order finding violation will be entered.
As a repeat offender.
Not as a repeat yet.
Not yet.
Oh, yeah.
Not yet.
Still don't have it, Emily?
I'm gonna listen to the meeting tomorrow.
We're all in agreement to the concept of the motion.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay.
thank you.
Do we have a second? Okay. All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. I think that's all the cases, right, Eric?
Yes, sir. That concludes all cases for tonight's hearing.
Last meeting, I think we asked about red tagging properties or vehicles on properties or
Trash.
whatever. And I think Bill, were you going to look into that, or are they going to talk to you about that, or don't remember?
I don't remember that.
That was our board comments after.
Yeah, it was in the board comments.
This is red tagging, what kind of vehicles?
No, it was for trash.
Was it for trash?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was for trash
Yeah.
and
You mean
debris
like-
of that nature.
Like at that property we
Yeah.
dealt with tonight?
Yeah,
Correct.
the dumpster
And I think the
issue.
discussion was that it's done in other
Municipalities. You have
municipalities,
done it.
but not done, but it's,
They issue
Yeah.
certain things, but I don't think
Yeah.
we do it here.
It probably has to go before the town council, because in the other places I worked, it was in the ordinance that if it was like, if a vehicle or if trash and stuff was physically tagged with a city sticker, that if it didn't come in compliance within the 72 hours that were given, that the town or the city had the right to remove it and then charge the owner. So that'd be something that would probably have to be brought before the council, I would
We
think.
don't have that, something to that effect?
I'm not aware of that.
No, I've looked through the code, and our codes and ordinances, in my opinion, need a lot of updating. It's just very difficult because to change one, I mean, just to get the boats and trailer ordinance changed took a lot.
well, this green book we have used to be a black book. And we went through, I don't know, several years of trying to get it updated. And it's obvious that it still needs some updating, but I recall at the last meeting, we discussed looking into seeing if we could add that to our
Do a red tag type
ordinances or
thing.
whatever.
Okay, yeah, I can talk to Charlie about that.
And if it needs to come back before us, it can, or if it needs to go to the town council, it can.
Well, it would need an ordinance change to accomplish that.
But it wouldn't only be for vehicles, also trash.
Mhm.
Really, that's why it came up, was because of
Yeah.
trash.
Yeah.
Bill, would you recommend that they reach out to the council members to ask them about it?
Well, they can, certainly they
I
can.
mean, I was thinking if there's a broken down vehicle in our street,
Yeah, because we don't have any, it's like, as of right now, a vehicle could be parked on a residential street, and as long as it's not on all four flat tires or all the windows are blown out, as long as it's in, decent shape, it can't be moved.
So even if it's in front of my property and it's not even my vehicle?
It's not on your property, it's on the road.
right?
So here, being that all our roads there is not room for a car to be parked on the road.
Well, if it's blocking traffic, I imagine something could happen, yeah.
You're like, if it's obstructing you from leaving your property, it can, but if it's like parked in front of your neighbor's house and it's on the road for a week or 2 weeks, the way the ordinance is written is no. Now, if it doesn't have a good tag on it, then we can deal with it if it's in a true abandoned state. But until it gets to that level, there's not much that we can do.
Interesting.
So we'll look into it then.
Yeah, I will talk to Charlie and see what his thoughts are. And
Anybody have anything else?
I do. I have one other thing, and I'm just curious, Eric, what's going on with the property at 7730? Because unfortunately, tarp is blown off. They had the tarp on there or whatever, but the roof is sagging in now, and I'm thinking it might eventually, now we're coming into the rainy season, it's gonna collapse. We got raccoons, possums, we got everything and God knows what's inside that property, but it's getting to the point that it does need attention. So I know it's in foreclosure, but
7730
what's
Westlake,
going on
the
to
one with the buckling roof. So there's been,
What's the address?
7730 West Lake Drive?
Okay.
It's the one with the buckling roof. I've been noticing some activity there. Emily brought it to my attention that she saw some vehicles parked out there. So I've been monitoring it to see if someone from the bank's out there or who's going out there, because it looks like someone may be trying to do something, and we don't have any permits. So I'm keeping an eye on it, but it already has liens imposed on it. Unless the building official were to fully condemn it, from the code side, there's really nothing else I can do. It's already on liens. It's already been fined. This would have to be more of a building inspector thing. It would then have to go to the higher echelon.
And also the building inspector went there, I think it was maybe within the last month, and he declared it a nuisance, but he did not want to condemn it.
Was that the big orange sticker that's on the door?
I
Yes.
think so.
Yes, that's it.
Does the town have a registration process for abandoned properties? If it's like a foreclosure, the bank has to register with you. So
Yes.
do you have any kind of registration of any entity involved in this property?
I don't know if we still do or not.
Well, we know who it is because they filed a foreclosure.
Right.
I mean, there's foreclosure pending. The former or the current, well, anyway, I don't know who owns it as the issue. But
Right.
she signed a reverse mortgage, so she pulled the equity out. And there's a daughter, and then there's somebody who claims to have gotten a deed from the owner who was in a nursing home, and there's an allegation that she was not competent when she signed the deed. So that's all thrown into the mix.
But somebody put a tarp on it.
Right.
Obviously, somebody is recognizing that there's some serious needs for this property, but I know if I was a neighbor living next door to that house, I would not, it's,
Especially with hurricane season coming on now.
yeah, it's, yeah, I just,
Yeah,
I don't know if
if we get a storm, that's my fear too, is that the roof may very well collapse.
could we, the building inspector, or is it something with the county? Is this something that we can then move it up and say, hey, we're, concerned? Is this, I don't know what the legal rank is.
Maybe the members of the board could bring it before the council, because the council has more standing and more power. Maybe something that has to get elevated to the next level. Because from a code enforcement, there's nothing really else that I can do. And the building inspector went out there and made his determination. Then from the building side, it's been done. So if the board members feel that this is something that's still not being maybe addressed to the fullest, maybe it also needs to be brought up to the council, bring it to the attention of the mayor and everyone. That way, at the very least, if something does happen, we can show that from the bottom to the top, everything was done to get a resolution.
Do we have fines running on this property?
Yes.
At the moment, we do.
Mhm.
And there's already a lien on the property.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are many liens.
Many liens.
Yeah, and we're
Outside of the
also
property, they
taking
take
care of the
care of the
landscaping. The town is taking care of the landscaping every month at the property too.
And we're,
Only the front yard of it, not,
And we're assessing the property owners or property owner on their tax bill.
would we be in first, with
No.
town, we would be behind the lender, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the money being spent and then assessed on the taxes is going to have to get paid, because whether it gets foreclosed or not, somebody's going to pay the taxes.
Mhm.
So that money will be recovered.
Oh, this is, okay, so what should we do? Bill, what do you recommend?
Other than, and everybody's aware of it here, I think, I'm not sure what all can be done. I mean, maybe mention it to the manager and,
The manager knows. That's
Yeah.
why the building official went to the property, but the building official didn't want to condemn the building.
and is that because it's not yet in poor enough condition?
I think it's because he couldn't go inside the property and inspect it.
I'm just curious, and I don't know if it was asked, but, and I don't know if Eric, you can ask him, but once that roof does cave in, will that be the point where he'll, because unfortunately it's
If
sad.
that
it's
roof
gotta-
collapses, then you have failure of structural integrity, right, Melissa?
Yeah, I just think he can't go inside, so he can't, condemn it right now because he doesn't have access to.
So should we just, to protect the town line, I don't know, or just say, hey, we recommend, or hey, roof is collapsing, at least something official that we've let the building department know that,
I mean, I could bring it to their attention again.
put
And if
something on record.
And if there's a big sticker on the front door too, I think
Yeah.
Right.
they're on notice.
Yeah, and I've seen workers go to that property.
I've seen people.
Last week.
Yep.
So I saw the garage door was open. I saw 4 cars parked in front of the
Mm.
property, and I saw 2 people talk.
Yeah.
So there's been activity there.
Yeah, Emily brought it to my attention, and since she brought it to my attention, every day I've been making extra passes there just to see what's going on, because if I find work going on, then I'm gonna immediately cite them, let Melissa know, because I don't think people should even be working in there. So I've been keeping my eye on it extra.
Is there power to the property and water service to the property, or has all that been disconnected?
I can't imagine there's been, I've never seen a light on in there. Water, we can.
Well, if they're working, I would imagine they'd then have to have a generator.
Which I've seen no, yeah. Which
They're working, or are they
I don't know.
living there temporarily, like, I don't know, who has keys?
No, I don't think there's anyone living. I saw a nice expensive Mercedes out there. Then I saw two other decently nice vehicles. So I'm not sure these, if these are people from the bank or if these are, I'm not sure. I'm trying to gather more information. It's on the radar, and it's definitely locked in.
Are you able to contact the bank, or is anyone from the town trying to contact the bank just to see, hey, what's that? What are you guys doing? We're seeing cars here, but this roof's about to come down. I'm just curious, have we reached that? Because obviously that's public record of who the,
Well, yeah,
The bank is.
I can contact the owner for the bank. Town's a party to the foreclosure because of the liens. And as mentioned, they're inferior, they're gonna get wiped out. But-
Well, I would think if someone is going in there, they probably ought to be on notice that we want to have the building official access the property to make sure it's safe for someone to be in there working.
That's why if they do enact any work, and if I catch it, if I write a violation, then the only way for them to get the violation compliance is they would then have to let a building inspector in to do a walkthrough. And that could be our way to legally get in to be able to see it. So that's why I'm keeping my eye on it.
Can we, as the code board, ask that an order be placed to grant access for the building official to get in? We can't.
No, I don't think so.
No, that's a violation of the Fourth Amendment, isn't it? Unwarranted searches and seizures, even
We don't
though
want to
we.
search it, we just want to make sure it's safe.
Yeah.
Constitution reigns.
Well, yeah,
Gets in the way.
We did an oath on that.
Well, it was the same situation. If you remember, we had the property on Waterway with the pool where the neighbors kept complaining. I could smell it. Everyone who was around there could smell it, but because we didn't have physical access on there, we could only do so much. Because even the health department, when the health department went out there, because the owner didn't want to allow them access, and that was a true health and safety, they weren't able to proceed.
Since you mentioned it, has that issue been resolved?
Oh yeah, that pool, I was finally allowed into the property, into the back end. The pool wasn't clean to my standards, but it was definitely, it was within passable means.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had just a couple of quick questions. How many violations on the alarms does the town see? Is there a lot of those, like this lady that was here?
For 2024 or 2023 or in general?
Do we have a lot of?
So
false
since
alarms?
I took over, when I took over in 2023, we were getting frequent FARs, maybe 5 or 6 times a week. Once I took over and I actually started putting together the spreadsheet and I started sending out the fine amounts, because we had cited Truist Bank, which is no longer there, but at the time they had paid almost $4,000 to the town. Another property paid almost $1,000. In my yearly report, you can read it. You can see how much was collected from the FARs. In 2024, it is drastically reduced from 2023 because once I started sending the fine amounts out, especially with the commercial properties went from being an issue to basically peeps.
I have
So-
one other question.
Yes, sir.
I watched the town council meeting last week or the week before, and they were hearing reduction on fines. And the one thing that they said, the people that came to the front of the council was, I didn't get this. So I didn't get the letter. And I brought this up a couple months ago. At what point should we be sending, like this lady today, return receipt requested that we can, and if it goes up to the council can say, yes, you got it, or Joe Blow signed for it.
Well,
Should we be doing that to cover ourselves? I mean, not right away, but I mean, if they miss a hearing or something like that.
well, Florida Statute 1662 states, the way of an NOV to be posted, an NOAH, and of a final order. Also, if a property owner shows up to a meeting, then they can't say they weren't given notice because they are current at the meeting. So even if they say, oh, I didn't get it, by them receiving the information when they're here. I know who you're talking about. You're talking about the property that came up for the fine reduction.
Sure.
However, they did receive notice because based on photographic evidence, it was posted to the violation property. It was posted to the property on Papa. And when the health inspector came out, the property owner, Miss Reccu, was there. Whether or not someone wants to state whether they truly did or did not receive something, I don't think it's for us to determine, because if someone questions it, the way things go out through the mail can always be pulled. You can see that it was mailed. I never received any mail returns from those addresses.
Okay, I'm just saying, should we, at some point, I mean, this lady that was here today
Yeah.
said, see, I've got a return receipt to the people that own the building and that sent it out in, I don't know,
Yeah.
April
Yeah.
24th, and we haven't got it.
The issue with that is people don't have to sign it.
Yeah, the problem was exactly what she had. She had a record that she sent it out, but she didn't have any record that was received.
Right. Usually you
Yeah.
either sign for it or.
Yeah, but you don't have
say-
to.
But you don't have to.
You don't have to, but can I say refused? I've seen that.
Yes,
before.
you don't have to sign it.
Yeah, you just don't go, yeah, I mean, you don't,
Just blow it off.
yeah, you blow it off or you don't go to the post office
Okay.
or whatever,
I would like to add that it was seeing the video. I wasn't there. I want to thank Paul for representing the Code Enforcement Board eloquently, and Deb Moody as well with her wonderful resume. And I think it made a huge difference with our board in keeping the Code Enforcement Board of Lake Clark as is. And now that we're able to get additional folks, but it was nice that the council did compliment this board and the due diligence and the time allotted. And it was unfortunate to find that was with that one residence, but what I was really proud was the council really did look in and accepted the decision that was made by this board. And because of the experience they've had with us, they felt confident about what we're doing. So I just want to thank you, Paul. You've been a great chair, and I know you've been here for many years, and I just want that on the record that the town thanks you and this board thanks you. So,
And also Derek was on the phone
Yeah.
yeah.
because there was some questions about it and you had
And
whatever answers were necessary, you had them, which is.
Well,
thanks for the
they
support.
also made a determination with that too, because things had been heard previously in the past and the code enforcement officer didn't have to be present for it. They now determined that when cases go forward to the town council, I'll be there for it because Lieutenant Fisher is still the code enforcement supervisor. However, because I'm the one handling the cases, should it come up in the future, I can be there. I had told Lieutenant Fisher beforehand that I was going to stay up later in case I was needed. But now when they go forward in the future, I'll be present. That way I can directly present and give a direct testimony.
Very
Good.
good. That's good.
Chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So
So move
I'll
second.
second, third, fourth.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, everybody.
If you'd like to.
Are we doing that?
I can't tonight.
You can't